A coward dies 1,000 deaths. A soldier dies but once.
Welcome all, this is Blaezer RTW. I hope you are well. Join me for a little 1v1 this time. This is definitely a training match in inverted commas. You can see that I am Macedon, and I'm not particularly a fan of skirmish play. I understand there's obviously different ways of playing the game and everyone each to their own and all that sort of thing, but I'm just not, I'm not that way inclined. I like infantry and all that sort of jazz. So one of the most frustrating things from my point of view is when you have a CWB match, because you're just going to come up against skirmish armies, and they are, unless you're going to fight fire with fire and do skirmish yourself, they're pretty much not impossible, but you have to be on your A game to take them out. Super concentration. But yeah, I ended up getting just taken out lots, so I started going through games like this. That I say, this is obviously going to be the first of probably a series of quite a few of them, against specifically with pikes against skirmish armies, and probably trying out a few other things as well, and just trying to edge out a few tactics if I can. So we'll have a look at the army I'm bringing, and then we can sort of see how it evolves over time. So it looks like I've got 6 royal pikes that are silver defense, 2 archers, 4 cretin archers. The cretin archers are going to have probably gold attack, and the normal archers are going to have gold attack, silver defense. I've got 2 light lancers, which are gold, and then I've got 3 companion cav gold. The theory is with this is that against any skirmish army, their cavalry is going to be fully upgraded pretty much, and it's always going to be a faction. It doesn't have to be necessarily, but pretty much it's always like this Scythia with headhunting maidens, or cataphracts, or this, that and the other. Even Roman armies are pretty hard to skirmish armies are pretty, the cav's pretty good. So yeah, my theory is to sort of concede it a little bit and have the infantry, have 3 cav just as a sort of deterrent, and then these 2 are my little raiding troops to go and just try and pick off 1 unit at a time and chase them down. And I know that the the headhunt and maidens are probably as quick, but normally cataphracts wouldn't be able to catch them. But it all adds to your micro, and it all adds to the fun and game. So we'll have a look who I'm playing. It's Jorah. I take it that's a Game of Thrones reference. So looking at it, what's he got? So he's going to have probably 8 archers, different, probably 2 cheap ones with 6 cheap ones with 2 expensive chosen archers. Then he's got the maidens, got a couple of dogs, did he? Yeah, some warhounds, some peasants, and they usually got horse archers and horse archers. So yeah, pretty standard. It's always going to be 8 cav, 6 of which is going to be the best cav, and then 2 horse archers. Then you're going to have 6 cheap archers, 2 expensive archers, and then little DOS units like they've got there. So let's get it on and see what happens. So as is always the way that you start, you've got the horse archers moving up to either side. They're really just annoying. They do actually do a job as well, you can't, and this is where you've got a choice against skirmish armies. Do you sit here and take it, or do you put pressure on them? Because what will happen is, if you just sit there and let them do it, what will happen is that they'll sit here and they'll skirmish you down with these, probably try and take out my cav, or my archers, or maybe even, any of it's a good target for the horse archers, really. And I'm not going to really take any out with my archers, if you see what I mean, because they're in the Canterbury circle. And what will happen is that he'll bring his archers out and bring them all the way out to the sides, try and surround my pikes, and then if I go after him with my cav, he'll pick out my cav with his cav, which will beat any of my cav one-on-one. You know, one of his cav will beat one of my cav one-on-one, any of them. And then, you know, it'll obviously try and shoot my pikes to death. I'm actually going to forward it for a minute just because it's taken a while for things to actually kick off. I mean, we can see that he's doing his archers. So, yeah, I've decided to send my lancers off against them. You'll see. The trouble is with some of them is that they shoot back at you when you chase them off. You can see my units are slowly but surely dropping. So I'm going to try and like, you know, send one unit one way, one the other, and try and encircle them, but it's not going to work. I've moved my pikes up. Again, it's the same theory that if I can swing round this side to where his horse archers are, none of those archers up there can shoot me. I've not got to that, you know, I'm not doing that yet. What I'm going to do is just try and single him out at this stage. I think what I'm thinking at the time is to keep my cavalry close to my pikes basically, and not use it offensively effectively, if you see what I mean. Not just yet anyway. I know what a thing to do is to have your pikes in loose formation, and then you can charge through them and they're still pretty effective as a, you know, if you can get them into phalanx. So you can see what I'm trying to do is sort of herd his cavalry. I'm going to try and send this, and I'm going to try and split his archers away from this cavalry, and then I can hit his... What I should be doing is still have my cav back here behind my pikes. I shouldn't have gone after him straight away, and my pikes here should be running. I'm trying to split his cav off, and I've got greedy there. I've tried to do 3 archers. What I should have done is just gone for 1. And yeah, like I said, I should have been a bit quicker. I'm going to try... What the trouble is that, you know, you need to be doing this on both sides, and it does take a lot of micro to be able to do this, which is why I'm failing quite badly at it, and these are all getting shot up. You see, I'm playing into his hands because although I've not gone full, you know, I have left my archers behind, and the trouble is that archers are quite key because they take more, their first job is to take the fire of his archers, if you see what I mean. That's their first job, and then the second job is to obviously, you know, shoot back effectively. And they're quite key because if you get left with just your pikes or infantry and your cavalry, effectively you're going to have to chase down his cavalry, because otherwise they'll just surround you with his archers and he'll just shoot you, and if you go after him with his cav, with your cav, he'll just take you out. And if you go after him with your pikes, obviously you're never going to be able to catch him. He'll just keep whittling you down until he can rout you by charging you. So the archers are actually quite key, and it does take me a few goes to realise, you know, because what happens is, this will probably be a game where what I'm going to say happens is that you end up with like 4 or 5 ranks of pikes, units of pikes, but no cav and no archers, and then you literally cannot catch anything on the map. You know, you can if you're pretty, you know, lucky in the way it all ends up. You know, you can herd off archers and route them that way just from chasing them. If they're on their own, there's lots of you and they're tired, etc, etc, etc. But you know, it's a laborious job to do. So yeah, so you got to keep your archers. And what I have done now, which isn't really a good habit, but makes it quite easier, is I group the pikes and the archers together in a formation. And I know you shouldn't do it, but I put them on auto fire, and then what my actual tactic is that I run up straight away to literally all the way up, so my archers are virtually touching their archers, and then their archers then skirmish. Mine all stop, and because they're on auto fire and they're stopped, they shoot the backs of the archers, and if their cav tries to take me out, obviously my pikes are there, and then behind my pikes and archers, really tight up, is the cavalry, but I don't tend to put that in the group. And then what you can do is sort of angle it off and edge away one of their cav and one of their archers, say, or, you know, sort of separate that from the herd, as it were, like a lion. And then you can then send your 2 or 3 cav, and they're pretty decent. They will take out one of the other cav and the archers. and then suddenly, you know, they're down to less, and then you carry on like that. And I've done that once or twice where I've been like, the trouble is that you've got to be proper on it. You know, it was after I played the game constantly for, 6 days on the trot without sleep. You know, probably one of them jobs where, you know, it all becomes natural. And I haven't been able to get back to that level yet. Because I've just been so busy at work and playing it sporadically, sort of thing. So I'm playing a lot more 31k because you don't really get any skirmish armies in 31k. You do get them, but I'd say out of every 4v4 battles on 31k, I'd say probably 1 in 6 or 1 in 7 as a sort of what you would consider a skirmish army. But yes, you can see what Mate Your Boy done. I hope you were keeping an eye on it while I was waffling around. Basically, he absolutely destroyed me, and the reason that is because he worked his way through methodically. I started chasing things around. He took my cav out pretty easily, he took my archers out pretty easily, and then it was just my pikes. And if he wasn't shooting them down, you know, he could charge from multiple sides. He wouldn't have minded using a few cav. I mean, the fact I only got 63 kills says it all. So, you know, people get pissy and quit about this, but you know, at the end of the day, the way I look on that is that hopefully it can only get better. So we shall see how this develops, and I come up with different tactics and different armies to try and face the skirmish, just so you've always got a defence against them, because it's it does get depressing sometimes, because it just turns out that every CWB match you play is basically skirmish. But yeah, there you go. Right, anyway, yeah, see you next time. Ta-da.